T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique, host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
All right, welcome to The Twisted 10. My name is Adam. I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Tach. I'm one of the other ones.
And joining us in studio again is Andrea.
Hi there, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
That sounded like a question.
We've got a tough week to compete against. Joe Pardo's podcast that we did last week when he hosted and did the top 10 Disney sexual references is going to be a tough one to beat. That had a lot of downloads already.
Yeah.
He did pretty good with that.
Cool.
All right, Tach. We talked about this a little bit. I don't remember so this week is my week. No guest host this week. What my top 10 list is for this week was kind of seeded, I think, in a Living Podcariously show.
What's that?
That's the other podcast that we host, Dodo.
That's right.
It sounds like a really good show.
It does. It's a little bit more rough and raw than this show, though.
What's it about?
I like those kinds.
Sex, relationships, men's perspectives, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that sounds neat. I'll go check it out today.
Plug. I like it. So we kind of briefly mentioned something, and that's one of my top 10 tonight is this one particular item that you talked about. I think it was you that talked about this. It might have been somebody else. Who knows?
Okay.
But, this week is the top 10 suppressed inventions, meaning inventions that these inventors came up with, either patented or just did the blueprints and everything or made the prototypes for, then either big companies
like Da Vinci?
Or government or somebody came in and kiboshed that invention.
Oh, we talked about the water car.
That's right.
That's right.
That is one of them.
Yeah.
In fact, let me just go right to the water car since that's our first one.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, well, no, I didn't actually have the water car. I have something that's similar to the water car.
Okay.
It's not the same. It's same, but not the same. All right, anyway, let's just get right into this. All right, so number 10. I think you're going to like number 10 right off the bat, you two.
Okay.
It's biofuel, but it's made out of hemp.
Oh,
hemp biofuel. So the article goes, and this is from many different sources, as always. I looked up the top 20, top 30, top 40 that I could find online. And there was a lot of these types of inventions, and I just handpicked the ones that I like the best. So these are not all together from any one source. They're from all over. So hemp biofuel, the father of our country, George Washington, who is rumored to have said, I cannot tell a lie, was a proud supporter of the hemp seed. Of course, the only thing more surprising in this country than an honest politician is hemp, which is often mistaken for marijuana and therefore unfairly maligned. So a lot of people think that hemp oil or the product hemp has something to do with marijuana.
Right. I always thought that. I don't really know what the difference is.
You would have to smoke a hemp joint the size of a telephone pole to even get a slight buzz.
Oh, really?
Have you tried? No. Now, hemp can be used, and the funny thing about this, and I'll get more into this article in a second, but hemp can be used to make anything from paper to essential oils to fuel to
shampoo, soap, clothing.
Yeah, anything.
Paper.
I mean, anything at all. The number one outlaw of hemp in the past has been the paper industry, the lumber and paper industries. Because hemp, the product, when you cut up hemp or chop it down or do whatever the hell you're supposed to do, when you harvest it, you can actually make paper products at a fraction of the cost that you can with lumber. So the lobbyists that originally attached marijuana to hemp back in the 30s or 20s, whenever it was the big lobbyists for the paper and the lumber and mill industry. So,
I see.
Quite interesting.
That is interesting.
So the article goes on. Governmental roadblocks, meanwhile, prevent hemp from becoming the leader in extracting ethanol, allowing environmental damaging sources like corn to take over the ethanol industry. Despite the fact it requires fewer chemicals, less water, and less processing to do the same job, hemp has never caught on. Experts also lay the blame on the feet of, who else? Presidential candidates who kiss up to the Iowa corn growers for votes. So it's all about politics.
What about the hemp growers, though? I guess there's not as many, though.
They're too busy, tie-dyeing shirts and...
And making ice cream. Ben and Jerry.
All right, number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9 is the original electric car.
The original.
Yeah, when do you guys think the original electric car was produced?
1483.
I'm going to have to say no on that one. I'm going to say 19...
Yes?
43.
No.
71.
71?
No. I'll give you a hint. GM produced it, and its name was the EV1.
1978?
You guys are not even going to get it close.
1980.
No, the original one was actually produced in 1999.
That was my next guess.
It was relatively recent.
I was going to say that too.
Perhaps the most notorious suppressed invention is the General Motors EV1, subject of the 2006 documentary Who Killed the Electric Car. Ironically, now that it's 2016, electric cars are starting to come back. But they were originally introduced back then.
Tesla.
The EV1 was the world's first mass-produced electric car, with 800 of them up for lease from GM in the late 90s. GM ended the EV1 line in 99, so it was actually mid-90s to late 90s. Stating that consumers weren't happy with the limited driving range of the car's batteries, making it unprofitable for GM to continue production. Many skeptics, however, believe GM killed the EV1 under pressure from oil companies who stand to lose the most if high-efficiency vehicles conquer the market. So, yes, they got squashed, rumors suggest.
Huh. Interesting.
Andrea wants a Prius.
Mm-hmm. It's fun to say Prius.
It is fun. It's more fun. It's more fun to say Tesla.
Or Corvette.
Or limousine.
Bugatti.
Bugatti's really fun to say.
Bugatti's fun to say. If Bugatti made an all-electric, could I get it?
Sure. Yeah, I'll get you one.
It's only 400,000. It's cool.
No problem.
I'm sure the electric version will be a little bit more. All right, so tying into the car a little bit. All right, this isn't your water car, but tying into the car a little bit is a carburetor. A very simple product in a car. Tach, do you know what a carburetor physically does for an engine?
For an engine?
It makes it work.
Sorry. It lets air in and out.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a gentleman by the name of Tom Ogle who developed a new type of carburetor that pressurized gasoline into vapor and injected it in the fire pistons, or firing chambers, kind of similar to how a fuel injector will work now, but far more efficient. And this was back in 1981, mind you. After installing it in his Ford Galaxy, the car was measured to get 113 miles per gallon.
I think I heard about this guy. I think he turned up missing too.
Ironically, after some licensing setbacks, Ogle died in 1981 and took the design of his carburetor with him to the grave. Now, the theory there is, or the conspiracy there is he didn't die of necessarily natural causes.
Right.
There are ways to induce brain aneurysms. So, yes, he was perfectly healthy, and then he's dead.
131 miles to the gallon.
113 miles to the gallon. This is in 1981 with a Ford Galaxy.
Yeah, it was 35 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's before, like, emissions, wasn't it? Like, state emissions.
When I was 16, I got like 5 miles to the gallon.
I drove, my first car was a Mercury Grand Marquis LS station wagon. It had the brown panels on the side, like the faux wood panels. Oh, it was great.
1984 Bonneville.
That's back when engines could run dirty.
It was hot.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
could hit anyone in the parking lot. I wouldn't put a scratch in my car.
A big old boat?
Huge. Every 16-year-old had
Yeah, that thing didn't turn. It floated, didn't it?
I don't know. I never tried it. I was in the middle of Oklahoma. There's no water.
My older stepsisters had their first cars.
From lane to lane, it floated.
I got it.
Womp womp.
Wah, wah,
All right, number 7.
all right.
Number 7 is free energy. Let's see, Tach, if you can get... Actually, Andrew, you might get this too. Who do you think is the inventor of free energy?
That would be the Lord. No, I mean,
Jesus.
Jesus. No, Nikola Tesla
oh, yeah.
was an undisputed genius. There's no question. In 1899, he figured out a way to bypass fossil fuel burning power plants and power lines, proving that, quote, free energy could be harnessed using ionization in the upper atmosphere to produce electrical vibrations. J.P. Morgan, who had been funding Tesla's research, had a bit of buyer's remorse when he realized that the free energy for all wasn't as profitable as actually charging people for every watt of energy use. Now, Tesla and another famous inventor of the time were going head to head for their DC and AC type currents. You remember who that was? Did a little light bulb pop on in your head, Tach?
Is it Edison?
Thomas Edison, yes. Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison were direct competitors of each other. While they did share, studies and, some privileges of the trade, they were competitors of each other.
Frenemies.
Also,
Definitely.
fun fact about Nikola Tesla is that they believe he had Asperger's as well.
Yep.
As well as, who else most likely had Asperger's as well? He was actually a family, 2 boys and a girl. Huge inventors.
2 boys and a girl.
Major discovery family.
I don't know.
The Wright brothers.
Really?
And they had a sister too.
Huh.
Because none of them had any relationships. They had zero interest in being in a relationship. Zero interest in getting married. They just never did. All they cared about was their work, and that was it.
Interesting.
Yep.
So J.P. Morgan then drove another nail into free energy's coffin by chasing away other investors, ensuring Tesla's dream would die. The ability to distribute power wirelessly on a global scale. That was his dream. Tesla had dazzled crowds with demonstrations of short-range wireless power through the air using coils and to charge light bulbs as far as 100 feet away.
Yeah, there's pictures of him doing that.
Have you ever seen a Tesla coil in action? Do you know what a Tesla coil is? It's one of those beams with a big ball on top, and then it
They're always
shoots out
in
like
mad scientist labs.
Yeah. Well, no, that arcing thing is not a coil. That's,
yeah. That's
what is that? God, I can't remember the name of that right now.
Right.
The Tesla coil is the ball.
Yeah.
Spits out electricity in general areas. It's actually charging the air is what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But the Maverick inventor claimed that he had a significant upgrade on the technique that allowed for electricity to be transmitted through the Earth's atmosphere using high-altitude receiving stations. He began constructing his prototype in 1901, but funding fell through and it was never completed. Some scientists have tried picking up those projects again, but exact same problem now. Big companies want to make money off of it, so there's a little bit of a problem. All right. Number 6.
Number 6, really?
Number 6, yeah.
All right.
Have you ever heard of a Rife beam before?
Negative.
So this is a cancer-curing microscopic... This is a cancer-curing microscope, aka a Rife beam. Or a RIF beam. I think it's Rife. Yeah, I said that right. After successfully curing a number of cancer patients, the Rockefeller-owned American Medical Association later had this work laid to rest by closing down Rife's setups and seizing his equipment. Essentially, Rife refused to hand over the rights of his work to the AMA because he saw moneyed interests as hidden ulterior motives, that the cancer machine would not be allowed to the world at large because the AMA and medical pharmaceutical establishments didn't want the patients cured. If you cured the patients, you lost return business in the cancer industry.
Right.
That's been one of the biggest conspiracies now, still today, is that they could potentially have cures for different types of cancer, but have them locked away because those companies can't make money if you cure your patients.
Right.
After years of ensuing court cases with big boys of the cancer establishment, having had little money, exiled to Mexico to avoid imprisonment in the USA, Rife died of alcoholism. Broke and battered.
Battered, was he fried too?
Yeah, well, deep fried, battered, beer battered.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 10 through 5.
Okay.
The little bit of a water car thing is coming up in the next one.
Okay.
So
Cool.
you'll get that after the break. So, all right, we're going to take a break, and we will be right back after this. Get the top 5.
Once again, will the renegade master, D4 damager, power to the people's back. Once again, will the renegade master, D4 damager, power to the people's back. Once again, will the renegade master, D4.
Hey, this is Adam. This week's Twisted 10 is brought to you by just Tach and myself. We don't have a sponsor for this week's show. So Tach and I have been talking a lot about having sponsorships in our podcast, weighing the pros and the cons. You know, we're a big fan of having more content than advertising. So as opposed to listening to a radio show where 40% of your time that you're listening to the show is built around sponsorships, Tach and I think that the content delivery is far more important. While the delivery of content of a podcast is paramount to the success of the show, sometimes you got to have sponsors to help cover some of the bills. While we do have 2 sponsors currently for both of our shows, that's The Twisted 10, which is this show, and Living Podcariously, which is another show that Tach and I produce, a little bit more raw and rough. We do have some opportunities that are coming up for other sponsors. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor of The Twisted 10 or Living Podcariously, shoot us an email at show@livingpodcariously.com, and we'll get back with you with the contract details. Welcome back to the Twisted 10. This week's Twisted 10 is the Twisted 10 Suppressed Inventions. Just to recap, number 10 is hemp biofuel. Mm-hmm. Number 9 is the electric car.
Say it.
Number 8 is the carburetor. Number 7 is Nikola Tesla's free energy.
Preach on, brother.
Number 6 is the cancer-curing microscope, a.k.a. the Rife beam. All right, so let's get on with the rest of this list. Number 5.
Number 5.
Say it, sister. The unified theory cure for heart disease.
What?
Mm-hmm.
There's a cure for heart disease?
Supposedly.
Don't smoke is what it is.
This guy sounds like a scientist, by the way. His first name's Linus. So Linus Pauling had worked with Matthias Rath, and they came up with a unified approach to curing heart disease. Essentially, they found that the heart disease is a result of a long-term vitamin C deficiency. The solution is to treat patients with frequent high doses, up to 6 grams a day, of vitamin C while using amino acids, lysine, and proline to remove the, oh boy, here's a big one, atherosclerotic plaque lining, close enough, lining the inner walls of the blood vessels that cause narrowing or blocking of the lumen or the space of the blood vessels. Okay, that's all boring. However, due to greater interest in corporate profitability and perceived financial threat, this highly successful cheap alternative therapy has not been allowed that much attention. So Big Pharma came in and said, oh, hell no.
But it sounds like
vitamin C.
Vitamin C and some of these amino acids.
Yeah, it just sounds
Delicious.
like a cocktail and like a plan.
6 grams a day, though. Direct injections, not like pills.
Not the vitamin C pills, or you
Right.
just can't drink a bunch of OJ?
No, because
Vitamin C from a cocktail.
if it's
Well, no, I mean, it's like a cocktail of vitamins to take.
if you take it
Screwdrivers.
through your digestive tract, it'll process most of it out, so your body wouldn't absorb that much. Direct injection of these amino acids and this high dosages of vitamin C is what it took. 6 grams
So-
a day. That's a ton. Do you know how much that's a ton?
That's like, okay, so you're talking about that will prevent heart disease or cure heart disease?
Cure.
Gotcha.
So people who already have the conditions that will lead them to having heart disease, it will cure. So Big Pharma came in and said, fuck no, not allowed.
Not allowed.
Yep.
Can't make doctors like not allowed to do that.
Oh, you can't?
It's not. I mean, that's not illegal.
No.
I mean, that's legal. That's illegal for for a doctor to prescribe vitamin C.
It's I guess
not a
it's not
doctor, I don't know.
illegal, but it's not. I guess it's not illegal for somebody to prescribe high dosages of vitamin C. I guess probably not. However, what drives the doctor, and see, this is why it's so corrupt, is because everybody's greedy. Yeah, so it boils down to greed. So either government greed, independent like lobbyists type greed, whoever pays the highest bill is what drives the nation. So there's another product in this list that I'll tell you about that you'll definitely understand.
All right.
Number 4. Anti-gravity.
What?
Yep.
That's
Oh,
not a
yeah, that's
thing.
on Willy Wonka. The soda.
Yeah, you drink the soda and
Fizzy
burp,
lifting pop.
and you burp and it lets you back down.
Yes.
Yeah.
They won't let him make that?
Nope. Both the Germans during World War II and a scientist named Thomas Townsend Brown developed forms of anti-gravity discs. The effects were so impressive that they were classified as top secret to be later developed more thoroughly and used on military personnel in the utmost secrecy. Used by military personnel, not on military personnel. There is a present-day rumor that the B-2 stealth bomber is in fact using an electrogravitaic propulsion system in addition to the primary twin General Electric low-profile engines. During the wartime, back in World War II, a number of eyewitness accounts in London, New York, and Prague reported strange-looking bell-shaped flying objects having German military cross insignias, traveling at very high speeds.
Yeah, this was the Nazi flying saucer theory things.
Yep.
So
all of that was either, absorbed by the government or governments, or it could be a hoax. Just saying that there's no twist. I don't have hoaxes on, out of these or fake ones.
Gotcha.
These are all potential.
I've heard of something, but I don't know much about it. I've heard of this, but I don't know much about it though. I know that they tried to do like flying saucer type vehicles that just didn't. Well, no pun intended. They just didn't take off. So,
electrogravitaic propulsion system. That's essentially the system that they're using. All right, moving on. Number 3. Have you ever heard of Father Pellegrino Maria Ernetti? You ever heard of that guy before?
No.
He invented something called
No, I haven't.
He invented something called the chronovisor. You ever heard of this?
Something to do with time?
So yeah, pretty much. All right, so this Father Ernetti, an Italian priest, claimed in the 1960s to have invented what he called the chronovisor, something that allowed him to witness Christ's crucifixion. The device supposedly enabled viewers to watch any event in human history by tuning to the remnant vibrations that are caused by every action. His team of researchers and builders also included Enrico Fermi, who worked on the first atomic bomb. Unsurprisingly, conspiracy theorists say that the Vatican is now likely the owner of the original chronovisor. And that sprung into what could have been a side top 10 list, what the Vatican owns as copyright or patent ownership now for seizing for their, their religious beliefs or for whatever. Vatican has thousands and thousands of things in their safes down in Vatican City.
They got more secret shit than than whatever that you think has a lot of secret shit. Vatican's nuts, man. They have their own CIA. They have their own Men in Black.
You ever see the movie? What was the movie with Tom Hanks? Wasn't it Tom Hanks?
Da Vinci Code?
Yeah, the Da Vinci Code. And then one that followed it up was Angels and Demons or something. One of them, he went into the Vatican safe down underneath Vatican City. What was, Hollywood, of course, but it was supposed to portray what Vatican City safes would possibly look like, and some of the unbelievable things that they have in there.
Everything from the Ark could be in there to whole stories of the Bible, chapters of the Bible that aren't released,
and the notoriously famous
alien stuff to all kinds of crazy.
The notoriously famous Jesus's actual inscriptions.
Oh yeah,
in the what movie was that? Where the stigmata, where the girl. Gets all the stigmata and, whatever.
Sure, she was gorgeous in that movie. Here we go.
At the end of the movie, they say that, the original writings of Jesus were discovered, and the Catholic religion denounces them as being the original writings, but ironically, they keep them in the Vatican vaults.
Right. There's things
I don't like what it said on it.
Right.
Yeah, well, essentially, the rumor is that it said that church is to be had inside each man, not inside structure. And that's the biggest problem.
I've always thought that.
Well, that's the biggest problem with the Catholic Church. To the Catholic Church,
Your body is the temple.
You go to the church.
That's in the Bible.
They would lose their livelihood if that was actually Jesus' writing.
You go to the church to hang out with people who believe the same thing as you, so you can all have a party together.
So it's like AA for God?
Yes.
Oh,
right. Okay. The whole point of church is to be around like-minded people. But for you to be religious is all on your own. It's personal. So that's the way I kind of see it. Anyway.
Now, the Catholics have different views, though, than a lot of traditional Christianity perspectives.
You can go to hell for getting a divorce.
Damn right.
But Jesus still loves me.
And Jesus says you should do it in the butt. What does that song go? How does that song go? Have you heard this, Tach?
Sounds familiar.
Sounds like a thing for a different show.
That's a good point. Maybe I'll strike that comment. All right. All right, moving right along. Number 2. Miracle cancer cure. So we're back to cancer. So far, we've had cancer twice now. We've had automobiles twice now.
Yeah.
Pattern. This is in 2001. Nova Scotian Rick Simpson discovered that a cancerous spot on his skin disappeared within a few days of applying an essential oil made from marijuana.
We all said hemp.
Going just the other direction. Since then, Simpson and others have treated thousands of cancer patients with incredible success. Researchers in Spain have confirmed that the THC, an active compound in marijuana, kills, not just helps, or reduces, but kills brain tumor cells in human subjects and shows promise with breast, pancreatic, and liver tumors. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, however, classifies marijuana as a Schedule I drug, meaning that it has no accepted medical use, unlike Schedule II drugs like cocaine and methamphetamine, which may provide medical benefits.
Well,
this is an ongoing debate in the, legalize it community. That
especially here in Florida.
Medicinal marijuana is very obviously helping people and curing people of certain things. My mother's had skin cancer for years and years. And if she could just use some topical solution to help get rid of a skin cancer breakout, Jesus, that would be fantastic.
That would be amazing.
Just smoke weed, man.
Smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed every day.
Smoke 2 joints in the morning.
Very good. Get us another one. So we got Snoop Dogg. No, that wasn't Snoop Dogg. I did Dr. Dre.
Is that who
When I get
Dr.
high.
Dre, when I get high, oh, when I get high, when I get high. Da, 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 da. Nothing.
Then I'd punch a girl in the face.
When I get high.
Seen that video of Afro Man? What a dumbass. Anyway, good.
All right. And number one.
Number one.
We are wrapping up this top 10 list with your original reference, the water car, but it's not really just a car. Number one is
the water engine
that runs on water.
Electrolysis.
That's right. I'm trying to find this guy's full name. I just have Meyer. Maybe it's in the article. Okay. Meyer invented a car that ran on water instead of conventional fossil fuels or gasoline. The car was able to travel from New York to Los Angeles on 22 gallons of water. Mm-hmm. The engine system was fitted with a fuel cell that was able to split water into components hydrogen and oxygen. Mm-hmm. The burnt hydrogen was the fuel source used to generate the necessary energy to power the car. With such energetic sustainability, Meyer's invention could have made a revolutionary contribution to our planet's environment and economy. If the full specifications of his work had been allowed to be published, we'd all be using his technology today. That's hands down, bar none, no question.
And the exhaust is oxygen.
Oxygen is the exhaust. That's right. Mm-hmm. So you're only helping the environment. You're not hurting it. Meyer turned down the offer for how much money for his invention? How much do you think?
$1, Bob.
Damn it!
We got $1.
$2 billion?
Actually, Andrew's closer. $1 billion. So Meyer turned down an offer of $1 billion to hand over the rights to his patents. For his refusal, it had been said that he was murdered for his profit, having died from uranium poison. Having died of uranium poison, he was too much of a financial threat to the ruling elite's conventional oil industry and its petrochemical derivatives. So essentially, big oil is conspiracy theoried to have killed this guy. Uranium poisoning? Come on.
How do you even
Did he take his invention with him?
The article didn't say.
I'm trying to remember the story. I thought like he was just about to sign a deal with the government, and then he died. And I forget what the deal was with the patent on it.
You would think the guy who did this top 10 list would have looked that part up, huh?
Well, I mean, we just talked about this like last week, and I'm trying to remember the rest of it, though. But
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you weren't here, so,
I don't know if that was last week or not. Andrew remember talking to me about something regarding inventions last week or the week before.
2 days ago.
Or just 2 days ago.
It was this morning.
I remember in the 4th grade, we all had to come up with inventions in our class to share.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a pretty bad grade on mine because they thought mine was just too stupid and not needed. And I wanted to invent a radio that had a screen on it that would tell you who sang what songs. When the song came on, it would tell you who sang it and who didn't. And then you could push a button to go to the beginning of the song in case you turn on the radio. It was the middle of it. And everyone thought it was so stupid. My teacher did.
Stanley Meyer.
You should call her and say, "Oh, remember me? Yeah, I invented Shazam." Thanks.
He was actually the wrestling coach, so.
That's why.
He didn't like redheads.
Oh, shit, I bet it was a racism thing.
I bet so.
This guy's name, by the way, was Stanley Meyer. So I'm looking up the wiki page on him right now to find out where his patent sits.
Probably in the Nevatican.
The Nevatican? Did you say the Nevatican? The Vatican's moving to Nevada.
I don't think he was Catholic.
So here's the aftermath on his patents. Meyer's patents have expired. His inventions are now in the public domain, available for all to use without restriction or royalty payment. Despite this, no engine or vehicle manufacturer has incorporated Meyer's work.
Looks like we have a project ahead of us.
Where's Elon Musk? There it is.
No shit. Well, cool. So those were the top inventions that I thought were interesting enough to bring up for our top 10 list.
What a great list. I learned a lot. That's pretty cool.
Yeah? Did you guys like it? Did you like it, Andrea?
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Yeah, it was great.
All right.
Yeah, that's great.
It was great.
So
You got next week, unless we get a guest in, but you get the next host-driven one.
right,
You have a teaser?
I don't know. Let me look at my notes real quickly. Maybe I have something in here.
Andrea, do you want to put another one together and host one again?
Okay.
Yours, by the way, still holds the number one download for the most single-day downloads of the Twisted 10.
That's because it was so great.
It was pretty good. You've got some supporters and fans. Your friends really click the button a lot.
That's because I love my friends and they love me.
Okay, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do this topic. Okay, this teaser I'm going to give may change.
All
I
right.
may change the topic, but let me just think of something here.
I took George Carlin's 7 Deadly Words into celebrity arrests. So you have some pretty good flexibility on how far you can take your topic.
Okay, it's just going to have something to do. Don't take any guesses. This is pretty broad. So think crystal ball.
Crystal ball.
That's it.
All right.
That's
Wizard
it.
of Oz.
I told you not to guess.
Not to take guesses. Before we get out of here, Tach, I wanted to just give a quick plug to the Orlando tragedy, the Pulse tragedy.
Indeed.
There is a GoFundMe set up by a 501c3 nonprofit organization for Florida. It's the state's leading LGBTQ civil rights organization. The GoFundMe is gofundme.com/Pulse Victims Fund. And it's also the website for them is eqfl.org. So any money raised there goes to that organization, and they help directly help the Pulse tragedy families, victims' families, et cetera, et cetera. So please help our local community down here in Florida out by going to visit that site.
Indeed.
All right.
Thank you.
You want to get out of here?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
All right. So check us out at facebook.com/thetwisted10. Email us at thetwisted10@gmail.com.
That's correct.
All right.
You can also hit us up on Twitter at the Twisted. Did you just say that?
No, I didn't say
Okay.
that one.
Twitter at the Twisted 10.
Perfect. And if you like Tach and Mike and Andrea's content, go check out Living Podcariously. That's our other podcast where we get a little bit more rough and raw around the edges.
Indeed.
All right. Cool deal. All right. Well, Tach, next week is all yours. Unless we get a guest host, then 2 weeks is all
Look into
yours.
my crystal ball. That's it, though. Don't guess. That's it. Tune in next week. Next week. Till then.
Hocus pocus. All right. Cool. Thanks.
All right,
We'll
see ya.
see you guys next week. To have said, I cannot tell a lie, was a proud supporter of the hemp seed. Of course, the only thing more surprising in this country than an honest politician is hemp, which is often mistaken for marijuana and therefore unfairly maligned. So a lot of people think that hemp oil or the product hemp has something to do with marijuana.
Right. I always thought that. I don't really know what the difference is.
You would have to smoke a hemp joint the size of a telephone pole to even get a slight buzz.
Oh, really?
Have you tried? No. Now, hemp can be used, and the funny thing about this, and I'll get more into this article in a second, but hemp can be used to make anything from paper to essential oils to fuel to
Shampoo, soap, clothing.
yeah, anything.
Paper.
I mean,
Right.
anything at all. The number one outlaw of hemp in the past has. Let me just go right to the water car since that's our first one.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, well, no, I didn't actually have the water car. I have something that's similar to the water car.
Okay.
It's not the same. It's same, but not the same. All right. Anyway, let's just get right into this. All right. So number 10, I think you're going to like number 10 right off the bat, you two.
Okay.
It's biofuel, but it's made out of hemp.
Oh, hemp.
Hemp biofuel. So the article goes, and this is from many different sources as always. I looked up the, top 20, top 30, top 40 that I could find online, and there was a lot of these types of inventions, and I just handpicked the ones that I like the best. So these are not altogether from any one source, they're from all over. So hemp biofuel, the father of our country, George Washington, who is rumored... Andrea?
Hi there, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
We got
That sounded like a question.
We've got a tough week to compete against. Joe Pardo's podcast that we did last week when he hosted and did the top 10 Disney sexual references is going to be a tough one to beat. That had a lot of downloads already.
Yeah.
He did pretty good with that.
Cool.
All right, Tach. We talked about this a little bit. I don't remember so this week is my week. No guest host this week. What my top 10 list is for this week was kind of seeded, I think, in a Living Podcariously show.
What's that?
That's the other podcast that we host, Dodo. You know that.
That's right.
It sounds like a really good show.
It does. It's a little bit more rough and raw than this show, though.
What's it about?
I like those kinds.
Sex, relationships, men's perspectives, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that sounds neat. I'll go check it out today.
Plug. I like it. So we kind of briefly mentioned something, and that's one of my top 10 tonight is this one particular item that you talked about. I think it was you that talked about this. It might have been somebody else. Who knows?
Okay.
But, this week is the top 10 suppressed inventions, meaning inventions that these inventors came up with, either patented or just did the blueprints and everything or made the prototypes for, then either big companies
like Da Vinci?
Or government or somebody came in and kiboshed that invention.
Oh, we talked about the water car.
That's right.
That's right.
That is one of them.
Yeah.
In fact,
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique, host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
all right, welcome to The Twisted 10. My name is Adam. I'm one of your hosts.
Oh, I'm Tach. I'm one of the other ones.
And joining us in studio again,